to try to say it another kind of way because we're uncomfortable and the world is uncomfortable with saying the truth. There is an attack on blackness. Now, it ain't just coming from without. It's also coming from within. We have in our community gangs who are really committing genocide against our own people. And we have to deal with that. But it's still a satanic attack. Whether it comes from the outside or the inside, there is an attack on blackness. And I think that what all of this is doing for us is making us deal with the question, what does it mean to be black in America? So the devil is saying, there's a lot of you black folk who don't want to own up to racism in the land. Y'all don't want to own up to it. You don't want to talk about it. So you know what the devil said? This is the message I got. You don't want to confront me. You want to stay in the so-called safety of your sanctuaries. I'm going to confront you in your church. I'm going to be so bold that I'm going to walk up in the church. The place of sanctuary, the place of security. I'm going to walk up in the church and do my dastardly deed in the church. Because you all don't believe that racism is real. Is every white person a racist? Of course not. And we can't all think that all of this is because all white people hate. That's not true. But there is an element of white racism that has been ingrained in this country since the very beginning of America. Since the very beginning. Don't be surprised and don't act like, you don't know why law enforcement has the kind of relationship with our community that it does. From the very beginning of America, law enforcement had one job and one job only. And that's to keep black folk in line. Whether it was on the plantation, whether it was in society. You had an overseer who rode on a horse with a gun, and his job was, if you got out of line, if you ran, if you did whatever, shoot to kill. So in terms of who we are and what's going on in our community and our country, we're going to have to deal with it. Now, let me say this. I'm going to be done. I'm going to go very quickly because we've got a word coming today. But let me say this today. We are a beautiful people. We have some of the most beautiful people in the world. We have some of the smartest, brightest, and most beautiful women that the world has ever known. We've got some of the strongest women in the world today. Black women. Now, I'm saying this to you because I want you to catch this. The woman in Spokane, Washington, see, we didn't even have time to process that. As soon as we started trying to process what she did, bam, folk that got shot in Charlotte, South Carolina. So we didn't even talk about the woman who pretended or wanted to be black. We didn't even talk about her. But again, that's another issue. What is the question that's being raised, Beverly? What does it mean, Beverly, to be black? The overseer says, here's what the overseer, and here's what the slave master said. The slave master says that blackness can only be defined by physiological outside traits. And if you don't have the physiological outside, in fact, he's taken it so far to demean us that he said, even if you got a drop of black blood, you automatically black. How demeaning. How demeaning. We can recognize the fact that there are black people who want to be white. And we got names for them. We call them Uncle Toms. We call them Oreos.
Wiggles.
We call them, a lot of names. But the point is, we recognize that there are black people who want to be white. believe. We refuse to believe because they've told us we're so terrible. They've told us we're so bad that when somebody from the white race says, I want to be black, we said, you must be crazy. You want to be black? That's impossible. You could not possibly want to identify with us. Oh yeah, you're great people. Our women have strength. They're people who want to be like us. What does it mean to be black? Well, she ain't really black. What constitutes blackness? How do you know she ain't black? She done spent her whole life up here saying, I'm black. But the slave master said, no. The color of your skin is what determines your blackness. And we go along with it saying, that's right. Well, this woman identified with blackness. Her whole existence is blackness. And now she's coming out saying, oh. She was deceitful. She lied. But take all of that out of the equation. Do you honestly think that there aren't white people who want to be like you because they see something in you that they wish and aspire to? They see the strength of our women, the beauty of our women. They're blowing their lips up with collagen. They're patting their backsides. That's just physiological. But I'm saying there are other qualities that we have as black people, black women in particular, that you can't sell yourself short and put people down who says, I want to be like you. I want to identify as being black. We let black people aspire to be white. And some of them really are white up here.
Holmes.
And I don't think you can negate or define somebody's ethnicity simply in physiological terms. So think about it before you put this woman down. Think about it before you miss what it was she said. Y'all ever heard the Chris Rock joke? Chris Rock tells a joke. Chris Rock said, I'm a millionaire. And I'm a millionaire many times over. I got plenty of money. Said, I got plenty of money. I'm a millionaire many times over. He said, but I can't find a white man in America who would trade places with me. Now, I don't believe Chris. But I understand what he was saying. What he was saying is that we don't believe as a people that anybody who would want to be like us could actually want to be like us in a genuine kind of way. What is it about us that somebody would want to emulate? And I'm saying there's a whole lot about us.
Amen. Amen.
A whole lot. Pastor T, I took a cruise. I was in the backwoods of Mexico, a place called Costa Maya, Mexico. In Costa Maya, they had buildings that must have been built in the 1800s. The place looked like a spaghetti western. I mean, the alleys were about 2 feet. And you had to walk down through these alleys. And they had stores and everything. But this place was in the most remote part of Mexico I'd ever seen. Larry, they have a sound system in the center of town. And it looked like one of them Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns. I was kind of listening for that music. You know what I was hearing? Dr. Dre, Tupac, 50 Cent, in this most remote part of Mexico. And I said to myself, if we really knew the power of our influence just in music, Not to mention the other things that we are, that people in a country in the remotest part of Mexico, they playing Tupac, Biggie, and Eminem. Yeah. So don't sell yourself short. Don't beat up on that woman in Washington, because she's really saying something that I believe we can affirm. Yes, she lied. Yes, she did some things she shouldn't have. But who would want to be like us to the degree that she has gone if she didn't see something in us that we don't even see in ourselves? Major piece. These two incidents are tied. They're tied together. And they're tied together because they are seeking to answer that question. What does it really mean to be black in America? Slave master, the white supremacists say you ought to be killed. I have to kill you because y'all are taking over and you're raping all of our women. So you need to be gone. But there are other factions of white folks who are saying, man, you guys are really pretty sharp people. So much so that I identify with black more than I do this physiological whiteness that has been thrust on me, but I don't believe in white privilege or white superiority. I'm black. She ain't black. He has got her hair twisted up. She ain't really black. Who are you to say that? Is that this skin color only in the skin? Or could it possibly also be in your head? One drop, 1/32 black blood, and somebody has to be made black because the slave master says that you can't have any black blood in you and be considered white. These are all things that I think we're going to have a conversation around, and we are quickly moving into the realm of having a conversation around these issues because they're very, very important. Very important. So, we're going to continue to talk about it. We're going to continue to explore it. And I want to encourage all of you all to look at these issues differently than how we've been programmed to look at them. So I want to come now to this place of recognizing visitors. And Victoria Whitsitt is here from Zion Baptist Church.